Hello and welcome to the Modern Mompreneur Podcast. I am your host, Day Smith, owner and founder of Simplicity by Day, your productivity coach and efficiency expert that helps you to be more present, purposeful, productive, profitable, and have more peace in your life and business. And so today I am here talking about the difference between bundling and best in class. So, a little backstory. At the end of 2023, I had been using a bundled system for my business. So, it was a system that had all of the inner workings of what your business needs. It had CRM, it had email marketing, it had invoicing, funnels, analytics, social media. It was everything my business needed to run as far as systems. I could integrate it a little bit with some things. My website was hosted there. My team knew how to use it. And it also came with support as well. But what I found was that I started to find little things that didn't work for me, right? Like, okay, it had email marketing, but it wasn't the most user-friendly email marketing. The website was a little clunky to build. The tech support sometimes was a little like there was longer lapse in order for me to get someone to help me with an issue, instead of other customer service or tech support systems. So I felt like it didn't work for my business anymore. And so I'm usually someone who loves a good bundle. I feel like it's convenient. I feel like you get more bang for your buck. You save more money. And so that's the reason why I went for that bundling approach when it came to my business systems. But I soon realized that what I was really wanting was more best in class systems. Like if I wanted to create an email marketing campaign, I need to have what's best in class for my industry, right? There's certain systems that just do it so well. If I wanted to have a really user-friendly, aesthetically pleasing website with all the bells and whistles, I needed to use a best in class website. Same thing for invoicing, same thing for funnels, same thing for social media management. And so what I had done is I took the bundle and I broke it out, right? And so a lot of entrepreneurs, what we'll do is it sounds nice to bundle. It sounds nice to like have everything all in one place. Yes, it may be more convenient. Yes, you may even save money. But if the experience of the team or the user experience is not seamless or optimal, then it may be better to just go with the best in class choice. So that's what I want to talk about today. As entrepreneurs, as business owners, how do we choose between bundling and best in class? So I often think about it personally, like, when you think about something as simple as going to get a mani-pedi, that's a bundle. When you get in there, you say you want to go in and get just your nails done. You just want to get shellac or something or a dip. And they say, would you like a pedicure? And you have a choice. You could either sometimes when it's best in class, you probably have made an appointment with the best dip or shellac person in there. But if you need to get a pedicure, it could literally be with somebody who is not as good. Vice versa, if you go in with someone who's good at a pedicure, you may be stuck with someone who's not as good as shellac. So I know there's a very simplified way to look at it, but it's kind of like, okay, you have a choice to go with bundling, having a mani pedicure that day, or go for your shellac and then come back and go for your pedicure. Most of the time, we're probably going to choose to do a bundled approach because we ain't got time to be going to the nail shop twice in 1 week, or we will be better planners, right? And we will plan having our appointment so that we have the person for the best in class person for our mani and the best in class person for our pedi. So that's the same way you can look at, your entertainment or even your business. When you think about, okay, what are the things that I need for my business? List them out. Every online business needs certain things in order for it to be profitable. You need a CRM, you need a client relationship management system, and there are so many that you can choose from. There's High Level, there's HubSpot, there's Dubsado, there's Honeybook, and then you need something that you need to communicate with your team with, so you can have some sort of system to communicate with them, like Slack or Teams or ClickUp or Asana, my all-time favorite for managing projects. Then you may need something where obviously you're going to take invoices from. Sometimes your all-in-one CRM does that for you, but you may need a Stripe account or a PayPal account or some system in your CRM that can send invoices and contract, which Dubsado does, which HubSpot does, which High Level does. You have to create those. Then you need some sort of marketing tool. How are you going to market? Are you going to do funnels? Which, ClickFunnels is kind of the go-to. Gorgeous Funnel, Go High Level does that for you. Are you going to be able to market on social media, so you can do that within systems, or you can go outside like with the CoSchedule or Pally, which Pally is one of my favorite, or like a Buffer, or there's so many later, all of the things. Email marketing, are you going to market through email? You can do that within your CRM, of course, or you can use a MailChimp or a ConvertKit or a Flowdesk. So you got to think about marketing. So if you're already counting that up, that's like 5 different things, could potentially be 5 different systems that you're using. And there's so much more. Like if you're going to podcast, that's another platform that you need to use. If you're going to do online courses, that's another platform. If you're going to be a speaker, maybe you have to have some sort of speaker platform. So all of these things can really add up, right? Add up in user capabilities, like can you and your team use it? Add up in costs, because each little thing has their own costs associated. But as a business owner, you would need to figure out, okay, what are your goals? What are the necessities for that your team has to have as far as your tech stack, your stack of technology that you need? How much is that going to cost? Who's going to run those? Can they integrate with one another, right? Can they talk to each other? So once you do something here, then you now can look at it on this system and it all kind of works together through either integrations or zaps. Can you automate the things? It's a lot to think about. But the importance of talking about bundling versus best in class is so important, because as a productivity expert, I'm always looking at, okay, what are the things that is going to help make your business run more smoothly and more streamlined? What are the things that your business needs to be productive? You don't want to have all these zaps, if it's going to create more work for your team. You don't want to have all these systems that you're paying for that you're not really using. Like you may be using one piece of ClickFunnels or one piece of HubSpot and not using the rest, and you're paying for it. How can we minimize that to make it more productive? And then with your team, how can you make sure that your team is equipped to be able to use the different things, so that you as a CEO are not having to go in and kind of tinker behind the scenes if you would like to do that. So, but speaking about bundling versus best in class, a lot of times we do look at what's convenient, but it's very important to look at, what's going to be best in class for your business, for your industry, to serving your clients, to supporting your team, and to making you more profitable. So again, for me this year, I decided to go against the grain and unbundle all of my things and go for best in class. And so right now it's working well. It really is working well, but it was a hard decision. I've been thinking about it since like the fall, and I was like, okay, if I do this, what's that going to look like? How am I going to offload my website without any disruption to this new platform? How am I going to offload my email marketing system so that I can continue to market? What about my funnels? How am I going to get my workflows and funnels set up? And so a little bit of it there was some overlap, especially in December, where I was like still using my old system, getting my new system set up, building relationships with other providers and other vendors, because I was letting go of this other system. So those are some things to consider if you are going to switch to best in class. Do you have the support to be able to switch where there's no disruption in your processes for your clients? Like that was important. Like I was onboarding clients in the midst of switching my systems over. And then there were some things that were set up in the old system that I had to go back and communicate to clients and communicate to networking partners and vendors to say, okay, we've switched to a new system. We're going to be implementing you into here. So you just have to be really diligent before you make that switch to see if you have the support and that you have the processes in place to be able to know what are the things that you're going to have to do manually or do, in a clunkier way before you get fully set up. I was looking at this article on medium.com that talks about, the bigger companies and what they kind of do to bundle. The article is called To Bundle or Not Bundle. And it talks about in this digital phase, we look at empires that have bundled. Like we think about, we just recently took away our cable provider, and now we're moving to more of a like best in class. Like we know that we watch streaming services more, right? We know that we have certain things that we only watch. Like my kids are all into Disney, Netflix, and that's all that they pretty much watch. They don't really watch cable. My husband is all about ESPN. Like if he has his ESPN, he's good. He don't, or sports, whatever, he's good. If he can watch his games on those channels, he's good. For me, I don't even really watch TV, but if I do, it's Netflix, or maybe something on Disney, the shows, or maybe even Prime. But we decided to move away from the bundled approach with our cable provider and like piece together what we want, what's best for our family. So we've even moved away from that. But this article talks about how even bigger companies are bundling. Like when we were going to look for Disney or to get streaming service, Disney now has ESPN, Hulu, all of the things. So you can get more instead of going to piecemeal. So it makes it a little easier for you. Same thing with Amazon Prime. Like if you have Amazon Prime, you can now get those HBOs and those Showtime and those Stars channel. You can bundle there. So even corporate companies are seeing the benefit of either bundling or best in class. And that's how they're building their businesses. So if you're thinking like them, you can also think of this from as a entrepreneur perspective. How can you bundle things or set yourself apart as best in class in your industry, right? Like for me, as a productivity expert, I'm thinking about what other offers, what other value adds can I add to my clients or my potential clients to show the value. So, as a productivity coach, there may be opportunity for me to add planners or add courses or add some sort of touch point so that they're getting more bang for their buck. Like I'm bundling my services pretty much, I'm able to provide a little bit more, but I'm also setting myself apart as best in class. Like the things you're going to get from me is going to be something that you're not going to get from someone else. We're going to do visioning, strategy, and implementation. We're going to use my corporate background in knowing about adult learning and emotional intelligence and generational and personality differences when we're working together. So as entrepreneurs, you can find a way for you to be able to incorporate your expertise to be best in class, but also seeing how you can bundle things together. So you can look at it two ways. You can look at it as yourself as an entrepreneur, but also what different pieces you add into your business, so you can make the decision between, am I going to continue to bundle to make life easier and more convenient and maybe even cost efficient? Or am I going to step out and look at what's the best in class for my business? What are those tests, those systems and the tech that I need to implement into my business? So going back to the article, they talk about how you got to examine the risk, like I talked about before. What are going to be the gaps and disruption for your business and your client journey. But before you do, kind of knowing what your clients need and what's the value before you add something or leave something that works, that works for your clients. So I definitely don't want people to look at this as like the shiny object syndrome, like, oh, I need to go get this because this is better or bundling is better. Like really take time to evaluate what's going to work best for you, your team, and your clients, and then make the decision. And that's something I help clients do. Like I do not want you to go out and spend all your money buying all of these different tech and systems without really evaluating what's going to be best for you and your client. So yeah, that's kind of my take on bundling versus best in class, and really look at it, all these things before you make those decisions. Again, this is where I am in my business right now. check back with me in 3 months to see if I've made a huge mistake and are going back to bundling. But I think for now, for me, just joking, long term, I think this is a better fit for me, and where I want to go with my business. But let me know if you also have this same type of struggle, same type of challenge that you're facing, questions that you have about bundles versus best in class. A lot of times I get questions about what are the best systems to use for this, and that. And that is something that I dive deep into with clients on, like choosing the right system for your business. So feel free to hit me up with any questions that you have around that. Love to share my expertise there. And yeah, as you're journeying through this life of entrepreneurship and you're reevaluating for this year, like what your business needs, think about bundling versus best in class and what's going to be best for you, your business, your team, and your clients. So all my mompreneurs, as you're making decisions and figuring out what's best for your business, I encourage you to get the research done, find ways to get answers to what you need in order to grow your business and move forward. Hope this was enjoyable for you. Anyone who wants to share it, feel free to do so and subscribe to the Modern Mompreneur podcast. And my mompreneurs, always remember to give yourself permission to live out your full dreams, because you never know what's on the other side of that and whose lives you can touch. Until next time, I hope you guys have enjoyed this episode. Y'all be blessed.